This is not about hype or resale. These are sneakers that actually meant something to me in 2025. Let's get into it. Starting from my least to best. Coming in at number 10, we got the Dion Diamond Turf. So this shoe right here bring back a lot of nostalgia. Now, let's get the elephant out the room about this sneaker. A lot of people wanted to say this was the Atlanta Falcons colorway or this was the San Francisco 49ers colorway. For me, I just like this shoe because when I first seen it, when it came out, I was, just seeing people. It was a person in my class that had them. And I felt like when they dropped this OG, I just felt like, man, I had to cop it. You know what I'm saying? 2025 for us sneakerheads was very, very hard and collectors out here because they was bringing a lot of heat, man. And this one in particular, I felt like to get it in some of my favorite colors, black, red, and white, I just felt like it was a no-brainer, man. I had to get it. Super fire, man, in my opinion. And I have been putting wear on these for real, for real. But that's on my number 10 slot. You know what I'm saying? These is in his own lane. Pretty much I own a lot of Jordans. And this was a different sneaker that I never owned that I'm happy to have that I got in 2025. Moving on to my number 9 is going to be the Ferraris. Now, these shoes right here is pretty much just like a statement piece, man. Um, my first Jordan 14 silhouette I've actually owned from the retail. You know what I'm saying? And I'm super happy. And I feel like this iconic non-OG but super dope colorway. I mean, I feel like if you was gonna get a all red Jordan, this would be like a easy all red Jordan to grab. And I'm happy they re-released these in 2025 for me to be able to get my hands on them because when these first dropped back in the day or whatever, I was prioritizing. So I was just putting the most important things first. So now that I got that chance and I had that chance, I had to pick them up. Jordan 14 Ferrari. Let y'all see a little 360 on it. On my number 9 slot. So my number 8 is going to be one of my second favorite silhouettes of all time. Like I'm talking about not like just in Jordan silhouettes. I'm talking about like my second favorite silhouette in general. And I don't really like a lot of foams, but I think these and the pearls is like one of my favorite foam posits. And these are definitely over the pearl foam posits in my opinion. I did own the previous release of these, which is like the retro at this point of these, and I really, really loved them. I forgot whatever happened to them, but I know I put a lot of wear into those, and I was super happy to get this shoe back into the collection, bro. It was just something about it. Just hearing Wally on that track with Ross, man, pine green foams, they may never see the stove. And like when these jams dropped, bro, I was like the first in line for these jams. So that was my number 8. We're gonna get into my number 7, which is the Jordan 4 Undefeateds. Now, the Pine Greens, soon as they came in, they just go back to the Pine Greens. I wore those right out the box. Next day, I wore those soon as I did the unboxing. But these ones in particular, Undefeated Jordan 4s, I haven't worn them yet, but I'm super happy to still have these in my collection for real because, I mean, these originally released in 2005, and it's like, this is one of those type of shoes. It's just like, man, I seen them forever, just seen them like online, seen them in covers. And I'm just happy to be able to say that I hit for these. I think it was on the Undefeated itself, EQL site or whatever. And man, like, I just feel like these colors just fit my whole vibe like a whole lot. Military type colors, you know what I'm saying? I got family members served in the military and stuff like that. Salutes to all of the soldiers and stuff like that. I always just been on, that green, black, you know what I'm saying, type of combination. And I also love that sail in it. And they kept it iconic. Well, they made it more iconic for us this time because they did come back with the Nike L on the back previous release ahead to jump, man. But that's besides the point, man. I'm happy to have these. This is like a super statement piece as a collector and as a shoe connoisseur in general, bro. Jordan 4 Undefeateds for that number 7 spot. We're going to get into the number 6 spot, which is the Jordan 4 White Cement. Now, This is just a OG for me, bro. Like this is just like one of those OG shoes that I always seen and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And to be quite honest about it, these came in clutch for me this year. I put a lot of wear on these shoes. They easy to style with pretty much anything. I mean, you can just be super simple when you put these on, and they still like a low key statement piece for real, even though they so simple. And yeah, I can't say a whole lot more about these, but Jordan 4 white cement in my number 6 spot, one of my favorites for 2025. And that number 5 spot is gonna have to go to the Shatter backboards. Now, the Shatter backboards is one of those type of shoes, and by the way, this is my first retail pair of Jordan 1 has. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with this color blocking on a Jordan 1 for real. And like I said, this list ain't about the hype. It's not about the resale. When these dropped, I was in line. Actually, it wasn't even a line. I went straight to DTLR and copped these same day they dropped. I ain't care, man. I paid the retail. I don't care what nobody say. You can call me whatever. Everybody entitled to their own opinions. But I copped these joints first day, bro, because I just felt like it was my chance to get that first Jordan 1 hat, and let alone getting like a super dope Jordan 1. Like, I'm not like a heavy orange person, man, but I just feel like when I do pull out some orange, I want to make it like almost like a statement piece, but still they have that athletic vibe because it's a pair of J's. Fire kick in my opinion. Happy to own it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give me a pair of some Chicago's next for real, for real. I think those gonna be next over like some Breads or something like that. But in my number 5 spot, we got the Shadow Backboard Jordan 1s. Let's get into that number 4 spot real quick. Number 4, we got the Jordan 3 Black Cats, bro. So this shoe right here, before it even dropped, I didn't really know how I had felt about this shoe, but I already knew that I was putting this shoe, and this is like for a whole nother video. I already knew I was putting this shoe over the Jordan 4 Black Cat simply because the Jordan 3s is one of my favorite, you know what I'm saying, Jordan silhouettes behind the Jordan 11s and the Jordan 5s. But that's another, you know what I'm saying, whole video. But like I was saying, man, these are super fire. Now, this was a questionable point on these shoes, whether if I would like the patent leather being that it's kind of shiny, but like before even getting them in hand, they kind of grew on me, and that's what got me out to the store to get these when these released earlier this year. This was actually one of my first purchases of 2025. Like I said, put a lot of wear on them. I do like the elephant print laces in them, but I think I might be switching them out to some black laces soon. But yeah, Jordan 3 Black Cats, bro. Number 4 slot. You know what I'm saying? Super dope kick. Let's get into that number 3. So for my number 3 shoe right here, boom, boom, bada bing, we got them grape Jordan 5s. Now, let me tell you a story about these grape Jordan 5s, man. I first, all right. Now, these are true to OG for real, for real. I'm gonna show y'all the shape. I know it's probably kind of blown out because it's an all white shoe predominantly. But I love the toe on these shoes. Now, I got 3 pair of these this year, bro. So let me tell y'all, I rocked these shoes when I went to SneakerCon Atlanta. That's one thing. Super I'm just super happy to own these. So the nostalgic vibes from these shoes, seeing Will Smith on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and stuff like that, man, and just like I said, having the opportunity to be able to get these at a point where I was able to, you know what I'm saying, actually go out and get them without it being like a priority attack type of thing. Like, man, I don't know, I ain't in this position, I ain't in that position. I just was like, man, let me get them first day they drop. But the thing is, I ended up wanting them so much that I hit for online on JD, and I did a JD pickup in store just to make sure that I had securities. And I ended up, taking the one from the ship to me. I ended up taking that back to JD or whatever. And the whole story about the pair that I wore to SneakerCon, what happened, I mean, that nitpicky sneakerhead part of me, man, I was rocking them joints. And I didn't notice until after the event that I had like some crazy scuff and it just was like a black scuff on the bottom of the shoe that just wouldn't come out when I wiped them down and cleaned them and stuff like that. And like I said, I just wanted to rock them to SneakerCon and kind of like shelf them for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Give them a little time to breathe and bust them out like on a later note. But like I said, that nitpicky sneakerhead in me, it just made me go ahead and sell that pair for some reason. And after I sold it, I just started feeling like, damn, man, why did I sell them joints? You know what I'm saying? Wifey was telling me like they look good on your feet. And for real, like I honestly think out of a lot of Jordans that I wear, these shoes, they just looked at like I just felt so good when I wore these, man. So I had to go back out. When they restocked on Foot Locker, I had went and caught myself another pair of these. I know it might sound crazy to a lot of people. Some may have not would have done that, but I did. Let's get into my number two sneaker on the list. Number two sneaker on the list is pretty much my favorite silhouette, bro. Like Jordan 11, hands down. Ever since I seen people rocking these in elementary school, when the Concourse had first dropped, I was just in the auditorium, bro, and I think it was like the end of the school year. So I can't remember the exact time for real, the school year. I just know we was in the auditorium and it probably was like a awards or something like that. And I seen one of my fellow classmates was just on stage with the Concord 11s on, bro. And I'm like, what are those on his feet, man? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, those the joints MJ do be playing in or whatever. And it was just like, bro, I just fell in love with the Jordan 11 silhouette ever since then. And when these dropped in 2013, bro, I had like several devices open and everything, bro. This was like back when it was like back like right after the 2011 Concord had dropped, and like them joints had everybody going crazy, bro. Like turning doors down to the mall, and those shoes I was actually able to cop. And it kind of like reintroduced me back to the love that I had back then for the Jordan 11s. But like, just to bring you a little bit more forward, when these dropped, bro, I took a big L on these. I was super upset for a while. And when these dropped, I knew I just had to have them, bro, in 2025. So I'm happy to own the Gamma Blue Jordan 11s. I haven't yet to wear these, but when I throw them on, I'm gonna make sure I try to throw a little fit of something on, try to do it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All black, predominantly black shoe anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to own these, bro. I'm just happy to own these, bro. Let's get into the number one spot though, which y'all probably waiting to know and see. Number one spot, we got the Jordan 12 flu games, man. Like, so, bruh, I hate to just keep on hitting y'all with these past childhood stories and stuff like that. But these shoes right here, bruh, I think it was like around 97. I just remember being in my grandma garage. You know what I'm saying? My grandma, man, my grandma, she ain't here no more. She ain't here with me no more. But, bruh, at the end of the day, I've seen MJ playing in these shoes, bruh, and ever since then, bro, I seen them on the court, black and red being one of my like two of my favorite color combinations, bro. And I was just like, man, I gotta have those shoes, which at the time I was super young. I wasn't able to get these because I don't know. It's just I wasn't on like the schedule to when they was dropping, and I was just a kid. But I'm gonna tell y'all a story. It was a pair of the Jordan. It was a pair of Team Jordans. They was red, black, and white. I'm gonna insert a clip right here on the side. I got those shoes, man, and you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, in my mind, I thought those was the flu games all day, bro. So these might not be my favorite Jordan silhouette, but based off of just what these mean to me, you know what I'm saying? They had to be in my number one spot for 2025, bro. Considering that from all the way in 97, bro, I wanted these and I was able to obtain these in 2025. A lot of people said Jordan Brand was just dropping a lot of stuff that was just like had us out of control with spending this year. And I ain't gonna lie, they did, but I'm happy they dropped these for real, bro. And every sneaker on my list that I got, I'm happy I was able to cop in 2025. But this list tells my story. Yours might look completely different. Let me know down in the comments what you think about my top 10 for 2025. Other than that, I'm out. It's all peace and love, bro. Hopefully everybody have a peaceful and blessed 2026. Let's take care of our family. Let's get it. Let's hustle, baby.